Well, good afternoon, everyone. And how's everyone doing today?
Was great.
We
We're
are
doing
we
good.
are welcoming Leah Berger, who is an seasoned
Excellent.
software consultant, and she'll tell us more about her journey in that. She is now also not only seasoned, but a QuickBooks desktop expert in inventory and in QuickBooks Online. She does training and consulting, and we're so excited to have her today on Bookkeepers on Fire. And take it away. Oh, Deb, you have one message before we
I got one
go.
message for everybody. As many of you know, Alicia Katz Pollock, and in July, she's teaching a special event, her QuickBooks Online Complete Hands-On Training, which she calls hot. Hands-on training.
Wow.
Clever, Alicia. It's a 12-week live QBO course that turns frustration into confidence. You'll build 2 complete company files from scratch. Sign up for her class now at royalwise.com complete. And with that, let's get started and talk to Leah. I'm so excited to meet you. We've never met, have we?
We have never met, and I'm so glad to meet you guys too.
Yeah. Now, you've gone to scaling. I heard you mention you've gone to scaling.
I've gone to scaling for at least 8 or 9 years.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
So
surprised we ever run into each other because I've
that's
gone
what I'm saying.
since
Yeah,
day.
I was telling Donna that so she said she didn't go, but I know that you go, and we just actually our circles, I guess, just never met.
Yeah. Well, they're going to connect now.
Yes, they are.
I'm
You're
surprised because Deb's like all over that conference.
I know. Well, there's over 2,000 people there.
There are, but and it's not like I'm such a quiet person, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But we
I
just
get you.
we just had never mingled. I don't know what happened.
That's weird. But anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for coming on. So
Thank
let's
you.
find out about you. You have now you're a QBD person, QuickBooks Desktop.
Yeah,
And so you were telling us how long have you been using QBD?
I've been using QBD about over 35 years. As soon as that, I was an advanced QBD person. Um, I basically came from a Sage world, and the Sage software is made basically for the wholesale distribution. They're very, very strong in inventory. So that was my journey. And then when I went into QBO, I said, okay, I'd like to do, I went in QB to QuickBooks. I said, I'd like to do the same thing.
Now tell how you
So,
started your business. I think that's
okay. Yeah.
how about
So
that?
I was a controller for a bead business in Manhattan. And when they hired me, they told me that they want to implement a new software. So the software people are going to train me, and I will train and customize and make sure that the software works well for their business. So I was there for about 2 years. And I came home one day. I came to them after I went on vacation, and they called me into the office. They go, we so appreciate what you did. You were amazing. The software works like clockwork. It's amazing. And I'm so, so sorry. Since everybody knows what you know, we just can't afford your salary anymore. I was like, what? I didn't
You should have
Oh
done a
no.
lousy
I didn't know I
job.
had an expiration date. And I was like,
I
I
mean,
was,
that's one of my big things. I mean, these people,
Oh,
they
businesses have no idea how to treat their employees, and
just,
they wonder why people don't want to work for them.
and there's no loyalty. I mean, this was like we were literally. I was. You know how like when you're invited to someone's wedding or you're invited to someone's birthday party, we were like almost like family. It wasn't
Right.
like I had gotten so close to the owners, and I was like, what? I sat there and I was like, oh my god. I didn't know what I literally didn't know what hit me. And then the worst thing is when I went out of the office, there was somebody following me as I was going to pick up my stuff. So I decided I'm going to pay them back. I went to every single desk, to every single employee. I said, listen, I just want to let you know, make sure nobody knows what you do, because as soon as somebody's going to know what you do, you're going to get fired. The guy behind me was like, let's go, let's go. I said, I want to say goodbye to everybody. And
Right.
that was my goodbye to everybody.
Right. It's a
And
little gift. Yeah.
I left and I said, okay, I am not working for anyone again. I said, I worked my heart and soul. I had 4 kids at home. I was coming home 10 o'clock at night, making sure things are great for the next day. I said, I'm never doing that again. So that's how I started my business. My business, I started as actually going to accountants, asking them if any of their clients needed any bookkeeping help. And that's how I started. And then I said, you know what? The training that I did for this company, I could do this. It's felt very comfortable for me. So I started to tell the accountants, you know what? I can implement Sage software if you know anybody, especially if they need inventory. And that's how I started my business.
So kind of you turned lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, I tried my best, and thank God it's been good.
Yeah,
But
and that was like 30 years ago, you said?
no, yeah, but over 35 years actually.
And now you never hear about Mass 90. Do you
Nope.
ever hear about Mass 90 anymore?
Yeah, because it's called Sage 100, Sage
Okay.
200, Sage 300, and every once in a while, people they don't forget that that's why I kept my cell phone for about over 30 years, because I will still get a phone call every once in a while. Are you still doing Sage? And I go, no, sorry, I've been out of it for a while. But Sage was for more, you needed to be a bigger company. And every time I went in and I tried to sell it, them, they would say, oh, it's only you? So I said, yeah, it's me and my husband, and they said, oh, but then where's your staff? I said, we don't have a staff. We don't need a staff. And so I first had to sell myself before I even got to sell the software. So I said, you know what? I want to go to something that's a little bit on the smaller scale because I want to be by myself. And that's how I got into QuickBooks.
And that was desktop version. And then
And
how
then
did you switch? Because you still have desktop clients on
I
inventory.
still have desktop clients. I have my inventory clients that are not leaving desktop anytime soon, though they complain every time they get that bill. And
Well,
they
they
go,
all
again,
everybody complains about
again,
the bill.
another raise? Well, how much money do they want from me? And I said, I'm really sorry. I said, you have to cut it up. It's an expense for your business. That's just how you have
I
to look
always
at
tell them this when
it.
they start whining about the cost of the software.
Yeah.
I say, well, you could go back to paper and pencil. And they look at me like I'm nuts. I mean, I
No,
said, this is
but
the
you
brains
want
of
to
your
know
business.
something? It makes sense. That's what I keep on telling them. I said, I don't understand why, this is your bread and butter. This is what makes your business besides whatever you're doing. I said, if you don't have the software, what the heck do you have? Like, how do you know what's
Exactly.
going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
They don't
I,
think anything when the electricity bill's up or they get a couple new phone bills or they have to buy a new car or anything like that. But
yeah.
boy, the minute the
Okay.
software, accounting stuff, they all go, wow. And
Exactly. Isn't it funny that way they'll get their new phones every year, even though the phone wasn't broken, you know what I mean? And
right,
they'll pay who knows how much money for it.
right.
And then when it comes to the software, it's like you're getting okay, now already you're not really getting so much. It used to be that there were a lot of changes that were going on throughout the year where they felt okay, they were getting something for that money. They're not getting much about for their money right now.
I would say, QuickBooks underpriced themselves for so long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, when you did the Sage, how much
Yeah.
did that software cost?
The um this trying to think, the plan would start, my contract would be anywhere starting from 15, $20,000 going up to even 40.
Okay, so they're
But the
complaining about
software,
QuickBooks.
no, yeah, it's an ERP. It really is. It was a fantastic program. I don't know what it is now, but it had everything. You literally, I mean, it would have even, let's say, like a landed cost that, QBD started to do something about it, but it was a really strong program, and it was one of the more inexpensive programs. Other ones, with the program itself, would start at 30, 40.
I know.
This at least anywhere between 10 to 15 for the software, depending, because most of the people had at least 5 to 10 users, you know and also you needed your own IT team as
Yep.
far as to set things up. It was like much more, it was much more involved.
Yeah, I know. So when they complain
Yep.
like
I've been there.
I
Yeah.
just go, "Oh, Lord." I mean, I remember I had a veterinarian one time. The veterinarian software
Yeah.
this was 15 years ago, cost $18,000 a year.
Really?
And just so he could track the dogs. And I'm
Wow.
thinking, and he's complaining about, this was back in the QBD days when it was what,
Right.
$200. He's complaining about a $200 QuickBooks license and you're paying I just go crazy when they do that. They don't talk. They know if they want to see. They want to
Right.
see a bookkeeper on fire.
They literally. I know, and they don't even realize. I said, you don't know how much time I have to spend learning the software so that I could know how to use it
Right.
for the best ability, so that you're going to get what you need. You don't realize the hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
That
to me, the
software,
time savings, like now, when did you get to QBO? When did you make? When did you?
1994.
And what made you go and add QBO to your arsenal?
So, well, QBO, when I went into 1994, there was only QBD. QBO was, and if it was there, it wasn't even anything that I was looking at. QBO, I would say I really got into it like about 6, 7 years ago. I was
Yeah.
a holdout.
Mhm.
I was trying so hard not to go to QBO. It was like, I'm never going to do this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to do
Typical
desktop.
desktop. I was just saying, I'm not using that. The wrist rock isn't broken. Why fix it?
Exactly. I know, and it really did work, and thank God I mean, it was an important software for them, especially the enterprise.
Yeah.
And when they came out with advanced, I said, oh, okay, fine. That means it's going to be here for a lot of years. I don't have to worry about it. I could retire and then let somebody else use QBO, but they decided to like go really heavy into QBO a lot earlier than I expected.
Right.
I was still hoping that there would still be like a really good QBD world, and it's just not there
Yeah, it's
anymore.
kind of fading. Donna's never
Fading
used
quickly.
desktop.
Yeah,
She's
I've
Yeah,
never used
it's
desktop.
fading much too quickly.
It's
I
going
have
very,
spent
very quick.
so many years, and then it was sort of like I really have to deal with QBO. Oh my
I know.
God! But I am, and I'm advanced QBO too. So when I do something, I like to do something to the best of my ability.
Oh,
So
sure. That's
that's
just who we are as
that's my
bookkeepers.
thing. But
Yeah.
I do not. None of my, very few of my QBD clients went over to even something else. They're still holding out. They still love the enterprise, and they're, and no one wants to learn something new completely. You have somebody who's been working with this for 5 years, for 7 years, for 10 years, and then they go, I have to learn a whole new software. And QBO is like as if you're trying to teach an elephant and a mouse. It's like so different.
No,
Yes.
It's
they
like I
have to
don't
have a whole different
understand.
mindset. And they go, well, it didn't. And of course, it's like, it didn't do this in QuickBooks Desktop. It's not desktop.
I,
Yeah.
don't you get sick of saying that? It's so
Yeah, it's
true.
different. But it's still debits and credits.
Yeah, the
You just have
bookkeepers
to
are
know where to
still
put it,
there.
you know. So,
It's still
Yeah.
there.
so
I
your
always
business,
tell,
go
yeah,
ahead.
I always tell everyone the only thing that's common between QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online is the name QuickBooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
If they
Okay, so
call
you're
it
gonna have to
something
like
else.
start
Can I
switching
steal
things.
that? I like that. Can I steal that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If
Please
they
spread
call
the
it
word.
something else, like Books of the Quick,
Yeah.
Yeah, something, anything.
anything else.
No, but
But yeah,
like it's just the desktop really, it's sort of like, it's like under vendors, and you have something bills, and you have bills to pay. All of a sudden you have bills and you have to look for expenses. What do you mean
now
it's
see,
there?
I
And
love that
where's the
because
vendor? And where's
I
the
would get you get calls like this when the debit cards became popular.
yeah.
Well, I didn't write a check. I used my debit card.
Oh,
And I'd say, yes, but in QuickBooks, it's still a check. Because
exactly.
they came up with the expense to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So now when they use a debit card, it's an expense. And they go, oh, I didn't write, and then,
Yeah.
so that's why they came up with that, to
And
switch that.
it's funny. I have people that literally write down, okay, so under expenses, tell me what I'm going to find. Because it doesn't make sense, especially coming from the desktop.
I always say the only difference between an expense and a check and QBO is the address doesn't show on the expense. It does on the check.
Right.
Because you got to mail a check.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I show them, and they go, "Oh, that's the only difference." Yep, only difference.
Right. I know.
You can use them interchangeably. The effect is the same. If you like writing checks,
Do it right. Go right ahead. We'll let you
go
do
ahead.
it.
What's this pay down a credit card? Write an expense.
I know. It's First, I could imagine. Listen, I know because I came from desktop and I was using it for myself. And then all of a sudden, when I went into QBO, I was like, "Oh my God, where is this again?" And it really it took me a while to sort of like
Oh,
get
and
into
then they
that
change it.
QBO
I'll never
world.
forget. They used to have the plus sign up in the upper left corner to add new, and then they moved it over. No, it was the upper right corner,
Right?
and then they
Yeah.
Yeah,
moved it over to
I
yeah.
the left.
I
I
get
can't
mixed up
tell
with
you
the
the
right and
number of
left.
clients that call. Where's the plus sign? I go, is your computer open? I go, yeah. Look to the left.
Yeah. I know, and no, but the worst. I teach QuickBooks classes, so one of the times I went in and I'm pulling up my screen and I want to start to teach, and the whole classroom goes, "That's not on our screen." And I said, "What?" No, it looks so different. And I went to look, and of course, I had the newer version. They still had the old version. They got all mixed up. It was sort of like, what? What kind of a software is that you use one thing and it's the same software?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it took me like at least 15 minutes to try to straighten this mess out.
Right. And then you have the accountant view and the business view. I
Well,
switched everybody to the accountant view because I
yeah,
couldn't
do
Yeah.
understand.
they have that? Is that still available? Because isn't it now mushed up into one? Isn't it like
Well,
Are mushing it, but I think it's still available if you're under the old and
okay.
don't have the new.
So,
Donna would know. Donna, you tell us.
yeah. So, yeah, kind of, but okay. It's starting to change again. The official launch is July 1st, but you can see it now on a lot of new accounts. A whole new user interface with the now some more AI technology coming in. They're calling them AI agents. I don't know how they all
oh,
work either. It's a new adventure.
really?
I say it's an
Oh
adventure
no.
every day at QuickBooks, but this is a really new adventure.
I always say this is what keeps you
This
young.
is the future, though.
This
This
is
is
where
the
it's
Yeah,
future
but
of
going.
QuickBooks.
I have one foot out the door. I don't want to learn anything new. I don't want to
Oh,
start.
you're not that old. Leah.
Come on, Leah, you can do it. I'm
Oh,
doing
come
it.
on. Not again, you're taxing my brain too much.
I
It's like,
know. I said
I
accountants
know
we
what you
don't like
mean.
change. Boy, we just like it the way it is. So I've
I
learned to
know.
embrace
It's
it.
sort of like I wish that they could have that. Okay, if you like this version, you could keep just this and you don't have to upgrade or it won't touch you or I don't know, like do something like that where like I love the screen I'm looking at, please. I don't want to teach something new or I don't want it to surprise me because it does. It surprises me all the time.
Oh,
I know you log in.
me
What's
too,
this
every
I'm looking at?
day.
But then you know what?
Every
I
day.
got an email today from somebody, and they say, "Oh, we've just changed our whole look," and I'm like, "Why?" They all do it. They all do it. Oh,
I know.
the login to pay the utility bill and the Verizon bill's different. And
Right, yeah.
where do I find the paper? So I
But
just think,
I do
okay,
love that. I will say I mean, all the clients who do go into QBO, they really do love that bank transaction and stuff getting into, not having to download anything and it's, I gotta say, that is very, very cool.
yeah.
And I think
I
they
like that I
are
can work anywhere. I can be anywhere, anytime. I don't have to be tied to my
exactly.
computer.
Exactly. And I think that's why they're not bringing it into the QBD or to any desktop versions because then no one will ever leave the desktop version. So they're making sure that
Yes.
there's like a very big difference between the two.
So you have so you have a consulting business that you do mainly training, implementation. Is that what your
Yeah,
business
that
doing?
was basically, yeah. Because that came from my Sage world. That's exactly what I used to do with the Sage software. So I just went and I just picked a different software, which was QuickBooks, and I went into that. And it was really great actually because there really are a lot of the QuickBooks resale where they don't do inventory. So if they found out that I did inventory, they would call me, "Oh, Leah, you want to take over this client because I don't do inventory. I don't know anything about it." So it was really nice because it was sort of like a fringe benefit that
Yeah, inventory
I
is one of those. Oh my God, stay away.
yeah, exactly. And it was sort of, and they used to ask me, "Really, it doesn't like you're not nervous about it? Like, how could you?" I said, Nervous? Why should I be nervous? I said, this is my bread and butter. It's mostly what I know,
It's
So
easy when you understand how it works. You got to buy something, then you sell something.
yeah, but somehow they get in what's the gross profit and what's a net profit and what do you mean that I have to? What do you mean a landed cost? I don't get it. I mean, I'm paying $10, but I said, yeah, but you're paying customs, and if you want to know and you want to bring them in, that's landed cost. I said, yeah, the landed cost. It's like it's not just what you purchase; it's everything else that goes with it. And when you land it, it's all inclusive.
Yeah.
And I go,
It's not what you
oh,
paid. Add
yeah.
now add the tariffs.
Yeah,
Add,
exactly. Trump loves those tariffs. What can I tell you?
well, think of all the business you're going to get with all this new inventory customers not know how to do tariffs.
Yeah, except that, like I said, Intuit is sort of like squeezing us out slowly but surely. It's sort of like I think eventually, really, they're going to have to go to some sort of online because
Well, they
I
have the
don't
new
even know.
enterprise coming up, but they're having, in Katana inventory is good. They do a lot of that. You have to get a third party to integrate the stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So
you're going to
that's
be
again. So
scaling,
then
right?
again, I have to go learn a new software. It's like, come on, I want an all inclusive. I like the all inclusive packages.
But
It's just so
when you're
easier.
scaling, go look at Katana inventory. You'll like them.
I am actually not going this year.
Oh, you're not?
Oh no.
Oh, darn. How come?
I have 3 grandchildren's graduation, and I am
Oh,
not
you
missing
Ah,
them. I am not missing them, and especially 2 are high school. So
well, we're going to miss you.
yeah.
you know what? And every year they used to do it with Father's Day,
Yes.
and most of the graduations were that. And now I was so excited because I figured, okay, Scaling New Heights is graduation, and I'll have it the next week. I have my graduations, and I can go to Scaling New Heights. What do you think? Scaling New Heights goes in up the week. What the heck? I don't understand. You were always Father's Day. What happened? And I was like, okay, I'm not going this year. What can I tell you? Yeah,
Did you go to
I
any other
went.
conferences?
I went one year, and I missed my granddaughter's high school graduation. You don't know how guilty I felt.
Oh.
So for the next 3 months, I was taking her out and I was buying her gifts. She says, "It's so great that you missed my graduation. I'm getting so many fringe benefits from it."
So how many grandchildren do you have?
14.
14?
14.
And I have
Oh my god.
two great grandchildren, 2 great grandsons.
Wow. And you're only 40.
I'm only 40.
I mean,
I don't ask for the magic. I cannot tell you the magic, but I did it. I did it. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank God. Yeah.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
4 kids.
I
Okay.
have 3 boys and 1 girl.
And
And of
what do they
course,
do?
my one and only girl, who's my youngest and my princess, lives in Cleveland, and everybody else, my boys live around me. Thank God. So
And what do they do? What do your kids do?
I have 3 lawyers, and I have one optician that turned into like this. She manages businesses, and she like gets you your workflows and how to, how to get how to make your job easier and how to make your life easier and still get the job done.
That
So
sounds like something you taught her
nice.
how to do.
yeah, a little bit, yeah. But she's like amazing. She comes up with this, and she, like sometimes you like marvel. You look at your kids and you go, "Really? You came with that all by yourself?
Yeah,
Like
I,
when did
it's
you grow up? When did you grow up? I don't understand."
that's great. Now are you I guess you're married. Is your husband still around?
No, I'm actually divorced.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe it's good.
But no, it's fine. As you can see, thank God I'm happy. So I'm good.
You're not looking for. I tell you, it's funny. If I ever got single, I would never look for.
The truth is, I wasn't looking until now, but because like I'm sort of like changing, and I'm like I'm trying really not to work that hard or whatever. So like I wouldn't mind like to have somebody to share my life
Yeah,
with.
that's
But
what I
like,
wanted. Somebody to go to dinner with. That's
right,
what.
that's like just get I don't need the whole kit and caboodle. Just
We
just
gotta have.
friends,
I just think as we get older, all the girls have to stick together. So you go out
Yeah,
with the
for
girls.
sure. For sure. But you
Yeah.
want to know, it's true. I moved into a new neighborhood when I got divorced, and my first cousin lived here. And then I had one son move in, the second son, the third, and I go, oh, wow. God, thank you so much for letting me be in the same neighborhood. And then my daughter moved in, and then when she got married, she moved to Cleveland. So I said, okay, it's only a plane ride away. It's not so bad.
Yeah,
But yeah, so thank God, it's really nice to I'm very close to my kids,
that's great.
and they keep me very busy as you could imagine.
That's great. So you're transitioning from doing all these implementations to do more training and education,
And more
right?
training and education. Yeah, I love classroom. I didn't think I always trained. There was always one, two, maybe three people. There was an organization in Brooklyn who called me and they said, we got your name from wherever. I don't remember. And they said, would you be interested in teaching a classroom? I said, to be honest, first of all, you're in Brooklyn. I really don't want to go to Brooklyn. I'm in Long Island. So I said, that's a little bit of a thing. But they said, oh, please, we really need somebody. Please come. I said, okay, fine. I want you to know I'm not teaching a classroom. I'm teaching women who, let's say, want a new career, or I'm from the Jewish faith, so there are a lot of the men that don't work, the women work, so they
Oh,
need to have some sort of a career so that they can bring home the bacon, as they say.
well, they
So
won't bring home bacon if they're Jewish.
no, definitely not. Well, that was the expression that I used.
Where's the
Anyway,
turkey?
so these are women, like,
Right.
and they're like, so like they really want to be there. It's not like, I have to like say, okay, could you please stop talking, or I'm going to send you to the principal's office. I mean, there's nothing like that. But it's women who really want to learn, and it's just like so rewarding. They're asking questions and they're so involved, and I just loved it. So I've been doing it already for about 3 years.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I
That's
sat and I still schlepped to Brooklyn. I gotta tell you, sometimes I like, it's like really very harrowing. The traffic could drive you crazy,
do you
but
drive or do you take the train or?
no, I drive. I
Okay.
drive. I drive all over. I barely know public transportation. I don't even know how much it would cost for a bus fare
Oh,
because I
really?
drive. Yeah, I drive all over. It's just easier for me. Get into the car and just go.
Yeah, but I always think about parking.
Yeah, somehow it was never a nemesis for me. Somehow I was always found parking, or you know what I mean. It maybe took me an extra 5 minutes. I don't find that to be a big deal.
I
Most of my
hate parking.
clients, because most of my clients, when I went to them, which now I don't do. I haven't. I stopped going to clients, even though I'm implementing them, even way before COVID. So, but when COVID came and everybody was freaking out, oh my gosh, how we're going to do
Oh,
this? And I was like, it's so easy. Go on Zoom, and you just, I didn't know what was the big deal. So
I know.
everyone was
I
freaking
was the
out.
same way. Yeah,
Right?
my business was in like business for like 6 years, and I'd never been in a client's office.
So that's what I
Then
said. So
COVID comes,
are you
and I'm
staying?
like,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
done.
sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
great.
What do you want to say? I'm sorry.
Donna,
We're
do you have
good.
any questions? I've been doing all the talking as usual.
Yeah, well, I think we know what the exciting thing is you're working on these days.
Yeah.
But got more of that? Let's go, because I know you want to step more into the online training, the QuickBooks
Yeah.
online training and consulting.
Yeah. I still love doing that. It's almost like a puzzle, and then you have to, figure out, and that's always what got me into bookkeeping. I love that the debits have to equal the credits, and this column has to equal this, and it just makes things so neat. And
I
it's like,
know.
okay, now,
Amazing.
right? It's like just amazing. So I loved that type. So I definitely don't want to give that up. I just, I'd like to have more of an online presence because I do not have that at all. Like I said, I'm from way behind, and and every time like I have to think, oh, I got to go on a camera, I got to do something. So Zoom definitely helped that, where I don't have that problem anymore. And so I'd like to really get more into doing webinars and maybe training in more of a group setting rather, and not for a specific business,
Uh-huh.
meaning that I want to just train on the QBO so that you get to know how to use it.
Okay.
Then this way, if you want to work for somebody, you can. You could do it yourself. And then if you need your nitty gritties, then you still have to go to some pro advisor or something.
Right.
But
Right.
that's where I would like my education to be, more of a general and more in a group setting, and have that.
Well, that's
So
great.
did
I
we
mean,
see?
yeah. Go ahead,
Oh,
Donna.
oh yeah, do we see a YouTube channel in the
Yeah.
future for you?
I would love that. I'm still like, I'm still from A, and the YouTube channel is like P, so it's going to take me a while to get there, I think. But I'm glad that I have some time now to actually like get my thoughts together, and figure out like what I'd like to do, and then like get to do it. So
Well, I know you'll do. I know you'll do it. I mean,
you know,
it's
I'm
just
I,
amazing
I'm
your story.
I'm happy about that. So
All right,
I
we're
like.
at time. Donna, anything last we need to say? I want to thank you for coming, Leah. I mean, this has been
Thank you. It was so great to meet you guys, and hopefully I'll get to see you next year at
yes,
Scaling Heights. Not
yes,
this year. Are you going?
Yes,
Are you going
definitely.
to connect by any
yes.
chance? You are.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll both be there.
Oh
You
yeah.
gonna be there?
I'm still on the mountaintop. I don't know yet. Haven't decided.
Well, we hope
Well,
you
let
will.
us know for sure, and then
I
reach
will.
out if you're gonna
Sure,
start that
yeah,
YouTube.
Yeah, if you're going to
Yep,
start the
definitely.
YouTube, let us know. We'll be your first subscribers.
You got
we'll
it.
be in
Thank
there.
you so much. I appreciate it. And it was really so great. Thank you for inviting me to be
Oh, this
on.
was fabulous. Thank you. Any
I
All
last
right,
words,
appreciate it.
thank
Donna?
you.
What?
Oh,
No.
Any
we're
last words,
good. Thank
Donna?
you. Just thank you so much. So
Yeah.
excited to meet you. I get inspired by everyone's stories, and yours
Yes,
was again
Yeah.
yes.
inspiration all over
All
the
right.
place. All
So
Thank
we'll
right,
see you
you.
thank
all
you
next
Thank
guys.
week.
you. Okay. Bye,
Bye.
guys. See ya.